I've always had a passion for video games. Well, except horror and scary games. I definitely don't want to have nightmares, but video games actually saved my life. A few years ago, I was helping out a childhood friend, and a few years ago, I was helping out one of my childhood best friends and her company. They do a lot of different stunts, and I was a cheer coach at the time, so I wanted to make sure that everyone's being safe, and if there's any way that I can assist, that I wanted to absolutely assist them. One day, one of the normal performers was out, so they needed a substitute for the stunt. I volunteered, and one of the other performers informed me that he knew what he was doing, but later on we found out he did not. So we were attempting a stunt. It was a very simplistic stunt. I was laying face down on the ground, and I had two of the performers, well, one on each side, and all they were supposed to do is lift me up by my shoulders and just set me down. One performer who has done it numerous times before attempted to do that. The other performer, who I found out, I guess, was trying to impress me, even though I was in a relationship, he ended up throwing me. Naki. So he ended up throwing me. As I was thrown in the air, I blacked out, and all I remember is moving my arm down, and I blacked out. Still to this day, have no memory other than my arm being moved while I was airborne. And there weren't any mats, so I landed straight on hardwood floors, and all I remember was that I was walking when I came to. So it was explained to me that after I was thrown, I was immediately lifted back up onto my feet. And everyone knows if someone hits hard on the ground, especially if their head hits, you're not supposed to move them. No ambulances was called. No help was called. All I remember was that my head was throbbing really badly, and I felt super nauseous. Yeah, so I drove home, which was very dangerous, but I drove home. And the next day, at the time I was working at a high school, assisting sped students, and I couldn't remember helping a student. I completely forgot, and he was the reason why I decided to go see the athletic trainer on campus. I had a feeling. I knew I had a concussion. My gut was telling me it was a severe concussion. I'm a cheer coach. I know how to diagnose them, but I was definitely in denial. So the athletic trainer did the concussion protocol, even though he said, you know, and I told him I was in denial. So he went ahead, very graciously, and did a concussion protocol and tested me and confirmed that I had a severe concussion. He told me I needed to leave work immediately and go straight to urgent care. So I went to urgent care, and the doctor was more concerned about my elbow than my head. Then I went and met with the neurologist and was seen by this neurologist for a couple weeks. I had to go on disability because I couldn't do my job, and they weren't willing to have any type of accommodations for me, which sucked. It was to the point my memory was so bad that if I was having a conversation with you, I would forget who you were, what we were talking about, where I was, after 5 minutes. So literally we can be in the middle of a conversation and I would forget. 10 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, and then the next day was I could never remember what happened the day before. It was a very, very, very scary time, and my neurologist wasn't doing anything to help my memory. All he would ask is, are you still getting headaches? All the time. I kind of hit my head. And then he would ask if I needed meds or if my meds to be increased. And I'm not a big medication person. I have a pretty good pain tolerance. I just was more concerned about what can we do so that way I don't have this memory loss. Like, I need to tend to this because I'm forgetting what happened the day before. I could have tripped and, sprained my pinky toe. And the next day I wouldn't have known. I would just try to figure out why my foot was hurting. That's how I would have to figure it out. God, this is like bringing back so many memories. So it pretty much made me feel like my neurologist didn't care whatsoever. I was just an easy patient. That was literally how the appointments were for months. I would come in and he would ask me if I'm having headaches still. And I would say yes. He would ask me, am I still not able to remember things? And I would say yes. And then he would do the normal temperature, blood pressure, and ask, do you need your meds increased? No. Are the meds making a difference? No. Okay, well, I'll see you in a week. And that was it. That's all I got. No, let's try you reading a chapter a day and then see how much of that chapter you can remember in an hour or in 2 hours. Nothing. No brain games, no memory trainings, nothing. So there was no assistance in him helping me trying to retrain my brain and work on my memory. There's nothing. And that actually drove me into a really, really deep depression, and I developed a lot of anxiety. And I feel like I had a little bit of depression and a little bit of anxiety prior to my accident, but I feel like afterwards it really came and became very prominent in my life. It was right there. Yeah, so it was a very, very dark time. I made a lot of questionable decisions, a lot of things I regret because most of it I couldn't remember what I was doing. And I was seeking help in the wrong places. But luckily for me, there was one thing that could help, and that was video games. So I would force myself, I really would, because I was very tired. I kind of took myself off the medication so I wouldn't be as drowsy, and I would force myself to stream and play video games. Learning the different controls of the different video games, being able to improve my reaction time because it was bad. It was really bad. Learning and retaining information that I would get from different viewers. And I let everyone know, this was years ago, that I do not take any offense. And still to this day, I try. I'm don't take any offense if I don't remember who you are. It has nothing to do with you. It's not like you didn't make a lasting impact or anything like that. I have a severe concussion, so I suffer from severe memory loss. So this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. Just be patient with me. So while I would stream and play video games, I was working my brain so hard. And I would have these severe headaches, and part of me is just take the meds. It'll make you sleepy, you can rest and not have to deal with the headaches, but I pushed through it, and that helped me rebuild my memory. So I can remember certain things. I was able to actually, after streaming for a couple of months, I was able to come off of disability. I could remember what happened the day before. It was less likely that I would forget what would happen in a conversation. It became more like a squirrel moment where I would get distracted and then I'm like, wait, can you repeat what you said? But yeah, it's, God, man, I haven't talked about that. But video games helped me through a really, really, really dark time in my life. And streaming and playing video games actually is the reason why I met Pedro. Pedro was able to help me develop self-esteem, to come to acceptance, and to strive for better, and quickly became my best friend. Yeah, I was told by people that I can't sing, and I know that. I know I can't sing. I'm well aware, but if I want to sing on my stream, I'm going to sing on my stream. But I was very, 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 very self-conscious about my memory, about how I looked, about so many things. Was just in a really, really dark place, and Pedro was really that light that helped pull me out of it. So I'm grateful for him, and the wonderful thing is that I get to marry him, so that's fine. So that, being able to marry my best friend is pretty darn amazing. So, but Pedro encouraged me to play video games and continue to, accept that this is what my brain is and what am I going to do about it. So I continued playing more and more and more video games and started playing a variety of games. And I still have those. I have concussion moments every day. Where if, let's say, I played League of Legends and I stop playing League of Legends and then I go play to NBA 2K and then I go back to League, it takes me a while to relearn the controls. This allowed me to develop a deeper love and appreciation for video games. And Pedro encouraged me to continue to work on my brain, and I was able to. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for video games and the fact that I was able to utilize something that I love, something that's fun, to retrain and still to this day continue to rebuild my brain. That's why I say, like, hey, I'm a variety streamer and I play a variety of different games. And lately, like not that long ago, I started playing, I did a piano lesson on Pedro's piano, and I got that same headache that I had when I first started playing video games, which I haven't had that pain in a long time. So that and it was working a different kind of part of my memory, like I had to, it gave me flashbacks. I had to read music notes and play on beat, on time, and it hurt my brain in a good way. It let me know that that's an area that I can work on, and now I know how to retrain that part of my brain. But if it wasn't for video games, I would have never met Pedro. I never would have thought to do YouTube. I don't know where I would have been. if it wasn't for video games. So that's when I say that video games saved my life. They absolutely did. Dog farts. Touchy moment. Just knocked out. That's my babe right there. He also saved my life too. He was there before the concussion, and he's been here after. God, I love my dog. He was my best friend before Pedro became my best friend, so now I was able to have 2 best friends. So sorry, I just saw him, was like, oh, he's just passed out. But that's why I want to continue this journey through content creation and, you know, share my story. Hopefully it helps you get to know me a little bit better, understand a little bit more about me and why I love playing video games and why I love variety, or push to strive to do variety. But, you know, my goal is just to have a positive impact on others and just show how amazing, how truly amazing it is to be a gamer. There's still so many people and like other generations that don't understand the impact of video games, and it's not just something that you just sit and do for hours or you need to be productive. You know, if anyone ever throws that at you, you can say, well, Heaven used video games to overcome a severe concussion. Something that a neurologist couldn't do. Video games did for her. So I want to thank you guys for watching. Thank you for coming along with me on my journey. And I can't wait to see what video games has for us in the future. Bye.